Uhuru Kenyatta, William Ruto, and Moses Kuria. These three men have fought before.
Mr. President, please stop talking about me.
They've betrayed each other. They've humiliated each other in public.
Sasa kwa nini Uhuru anasumbua Ruto? Jameni. Si upumzike ukae pale nyumbani bwana.
But now, they're secretly working together. And of course, it's not for the people. They only have one mission.
Is the deputy president misleading the people of Kenya? Is he a divisive figure in your view?
He is a divisive figure. He is a divisive figure.
To destroy Gachagua. Let me tell you how.
You can see they are wearing the same type of suit, the same type of shirt, so there's not much difference.
Let's rewind. You see, Uhuru Kenyatta was Ruto's boss. That's obvious. Ruto was Uhuru's running mate and later his biggest political headache. Moses Kuria was once Uhuru's loudest defender, then turned into one of his harshest critics. Only to later back William Ruto.
Sisi tutakufa na William Ruto. Mtu akukasirika akasirike. Mtu akumeza wembe ameze wembe.
So, how are these three people who logically are supposed to be enemies now going to be aligned?
Moses Kuria, unapanga nini? What are you planning? Because me, I can tell there is something you are planning.
The answer is simple. Fear. In politics, nothing unites people more than fear. And right now, all these three are terrified of one man. The man, Rigathi Gachagua.
And for killing our young children, he will never recover. Hata akilete manifesto gani, hata akija na binu gani, people of Kenya will never listen.
Let's talk about Kuria's resignation.
We start this broadcast with a developing story where Moses Kuria, who is serving in the capacity of senior advisor in the Council of Economic Advisors, has resigned from government.
Of course, it was a big illusion. I mean, he quit his powerful State House job as Ruto's advisor. Some people say it was unimpactful. I mean, it did not make as much headlines as he'd have wanted.
I have resigned. Guys, I have resigned. It is me, Moses Kuria, who has resigned. And I have resigned. Hi, guys, I have resigned. Nime resigned.
Gachagua didn't buy it even for a second. You see, during his US tour, Gachagua said,
Na Kuria Moses ule ugenya atiga wira ri. Gutire wira atigete. Nikubagora bagirwo kiathukia kirima.
And now we see why, because one day he's praising Uhuru Kenyatta. The other day he's praising William Ruto. The other day he's fighting Gachagua. The other day he's criticizing some things that are happening in Ruto's government.
Are you disappointed with the way this administration has been doing things?
Well, some things yes, I'm disappointed.
This is not rebellion. This almost feels like a reassignment.
Kuna watu Ruto huwa ana rely on mostly people with two extreme ends. People who are extreme crooks and people who are also extreme intellectuals. Extreme intellectuals. It's very rare to find such people. This guy called Moses Kuria, he was the head of banking in Kenya. Head of banking in other countries. And also, don't forget, he's an extreme crook. It's very hard to find such people.
Experts are now saying that Kuria is the decoy weapon, that his job is to confuse the mountain, to destroy Gachagua, and to protect the system. And someone would ask, what system?
The system that controls this country politically was a system that was created back then in 1960s.
I'm going to tell you why the system right now doesn't like Gachagua. You see,
when you destroy this community, you destroy Kenya. We are the drivers of the Kenyan economy.
Just like how many people don't like Gachagua. They say he talks too much. They say he acts raw. They say he's not polished. It is for those same reasons why the system doesn't like him. You see, Gachagua today is what Ruto was in 2013. A man with no dynasty backing. A man who was hated by the media. A man who doesn't play by the rules of the elite. He threatens the old order. He talks about real land issues. He calls out deep state betrayal, just like Ruto once did, until Ruto became the system.
Nani alimwambia lazima uwe mtoto wa tajiri ndio uweze kupata pesa Kenya hii?
Now, Ruto sees in Gachagua what he used to be, and he knows what happens when someone like that gains momentum. So, what does he do? He joins forces with the very man he once fought. Uhuru Kenyatta. And let's talk about this unholy trinity. I call it unholy trinity because it's the coming together of all the bad things in our country. Now, let's zoom into exactly what would bring all of them together. You see, Uhuru has one mission: to protect his family's legacy, land, and to avoid any serious investigation. Ruto has one mission: to rule this country for 2 whole terms, but also he wants to exit power and not have court cases. As for Moses Kuria, he's an errand boy. He'll do anything for a seat at the table, even if the table is owned by our colonizers. So all roads lead to one strategy: let us finish Gachagua before 2026. To be able to do this, they will do many things. They will use propaganda, they will weaponize the Mungiki fear, they will sponsor fake opposition movements, they'll even revive forgotten cases to try and taint Gachagua's image.
Moses Kuria has just started spilling the beans. Now, allegedly, he says that he can confirm that he was in the same room as Rigathi Gachagua when Rigathi Gachagua paid some individuals to go and steal goats from Uhuru Kenyatta's property, Northlands.
And from all this, what they are trying to tell Gachagua is clear: that no one outside of this cartel is allowed to rise. And for a minute, let's talk about Mungiki. Moses Kuria has openly said that he funds Minor Jenga. You see, he did not refute the charges by Rigathi Gachagua. Instead, he said, you two did it. And when you talk about Minor Jenga, you're talking about Mungiki. And Mungiki is one name that sends shivers across central Kenya. And the government knows this. Now, by aligning Rigathi Gachagua's image with such groups, even indirectly, what these three are trying to do is trigger fear in older generations. Generations that experienced what a nightmare Mungiki could be. It is psychological warfare. They are using tribal ghosts and militia associations to kill Gachagua's momentum. And Kuria is the perfect proxy. He's Kikuyu, he sounds like a rebel, but he's working from within.
That's why unaona Ruto akifukuza akina Dede Nyoro, akifukuza akina Gachagua, akifukuza akina Mithika Linturi, ana make sure Moses Kuria anazurura tu hapo State House. Because if Ruto will want to do some adabracadabra in 2027, he will rely mostly on such people. He cannot lie with people like Oscar Sudi. He will rely mostly on people like Moses Kuria. That's why he cannot let Moses Kuria go.
But here comes the ultimate twist: the fear of every politician, the people themselves. You see, we have a new crop of voters, the Gen Z, the unemployed, and the people who believe that they are betrayed. These people, they don't care about tribalism, they don't care about history. All they want is accountability and justice. And forget about Gachagua for a moment. They don't want Gachagua, they don't want Matiang'i, they don't want Kalonzo, they don't want Karua. They want something new, they want a fresh face. They want someone like David Maraga, someone like Okia Omtata, someone who they believe can actually jail all these people who have taken advantage of Kenyans and stolen from them.
The country is complaining of a broken system, Mr. Speaker, that nothing works, absolutely nothing. That this is a rigged economy where only those with proximity to power and the advantage unduly given to them by the spaces they occupy are able to enjoy living in the country. And we are being asked to repair and fix it. Where this thing has reached, Mr. Speaker, it needs an overhaul, not the usual glue and gum that we put into areas that are leaking will solve this time. If it's a pipeline, Mr. Speaker, it is time to decommission and set up a new pipeline.
In simple terms, they want someone who is going to jail the thieves and expose the rot.
We don't want to see a few people excelling and others suffering at the expense of, other people. So I feel like the Gen Z spirit, the Gen Zote spirit is still up and burning.
And the term they're using is fagia wote.
And the next election, Kings, I assure you, it will be fagia wote. Anybody who is holding a public office today will be in trouble with the people of Kenya.
So what are they doing? They are teaming up. You see, people are saying that Ruto and Uhuru and Raila, these people are all the same thing because they offer each other protection. Right now, Ruto is the president. He's offering Uhuru protection. All the things that were wrongly acquired, all the things that Raila and the family have acquired illegally, Ruto is protecting them. And as an exchange, Uhuru and Raila are giving Ruto silence. They're giving him peace. So imagine all that team. And make no mistake, the team is going to grow even bigger as we near to the election. The more the people pronounce themselves that they are not going to vote for someone who has been there before, the more the dividing line becomes more distinct between the people Kenya wants to lead them and the rot that we want to get rid of. This team will get even more people. Ignore the fact that right now they look like they're enemies. No, the fear of the people is greater than the hate they have for each other. So don't be fooled. This is not about development. It's not about 2027 coalitions. It's about survival. The political elite, and that is Uhuru, Ruto, Raila, the cartel, may pretend to fight, but when the people begin to wake up, they will always protect each other because they know if a real outsider enters State House, they are all going to jail. And the only man they fear more than each other right now is a united Kenyan public with the ballot in one hand and the truth in the other. The game is on. The betrayal is unfolding and history is watching. But so are the people. So for a moment, forget the war between Gachagua, Kura, Uhuru, Ruto, all these people. They are one and the same thing. The only fight we have is against them. And our biggest weapon is educating the masses. Because up to now, there are people who cheer for Moses Kuria. There are people who are laughing at Gachagua. Others are believing that Ruto and Uhuru are actually enemies. But before all this, ask yourself, who benefits the most if Gachagua is destroyed? Because in Kenyan politics, enemies may fight in public, but they protect each other in secrets. Guys, it's time to wake up and subscribe.